Kanye is ruining his career. As you may know by now, Kanye has been going on tons of rants. He went on a Twitter rant tweeting out that he is going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, which eventually got his account banned, and then he went onto a podcast called Drink Champs, which Kanye has been on before, but this time on the podcast he said some things about George Floyd and his death, which didn't sit right with a lot of people, and now someone in the family of George Floyd is now suing Kanye for $250 million.
He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that.
So right now, it seems like Kanye is a PR nightmare and no one wants to touch it. I've seen people on Twitter basically boycotting Kanye and Adidas and every company that he is linked to. Some people have gone as far to sell their entire Yeezy collection, and I believe that the brands are starting to notice this. An article from TMZ came out today on October 21st saying that Balenciaga is parting ways with Kanye West. Balenciaga didn't say too much besides that they're parting ways with Kanye and they don't plan any future projects with him. This is the first company that we've seen part ways with Kanye since his most recent outburst, and I'm sure his other companies will be following very soon. If I had to guess, the next one would be Gap, because about a week ago on their main page they removed their Yeezy and Gap collaboration. Now that could be a coincidence because it's been out for a little minute. They're moving on to their new winter collection. The timing was just a little too close to after his Twitter rant for it to be a coincidence for me. Also, just a day or two ago, Gap put out a sale on some of the Yeezy hoodies where you can get them $20 off. It's looking like they're trying to move the Yeezy inventory as quick as possible just so they could be done with him. It's really gonna suck for Gap because I haven't heard anything about Gap in a while until Kanye went to Gap. He really brought a lot of life back to that company, but from a company standpoint, there is no reason to deal with Kanye right now. Everything that he is saying right now is self-destructive, is looking very bad on everyone that collaborates with him. I think Adidas will be the last people to pull out. If you remember at the beginning of this month or the end of last month, Kanye actually did go on a rant on Instagram basically exposing all of the Adidas executives. He said that he did this because he didn't have any control over the Yeezy brand. Some things that he touched on was he didn't have a say in some of the colorways that were coming out, the names, the designs behind any of the shoes. So it seems like everything was just automated for him and he lost complete creative control. From the outside looking in, before he mentioned all of that, it seemed pretty crazy and a lot of people were thinking that he was going to get kicked off Adidas, but according to him, Adidas actually did comply and they gave him some control back. We have not heard anything about that after the situation had popped off. We don't know if Kanye actually has his hand in any of the most recent shoes that just released. The shoes that have been releasing aren't any of his popular models, and speaking of that, on the Yeezy Supply site they've been claiming that the shoes have sold out, and I know for a fact none of those shoes have sold out. First off, none of them have resale. The shoes are terrible. They're the least popular models, and I don't know anybody that bought the shoe. On Yeezy Supply, most of the stock goes to botters, and none of the checkout numbers match up to the amount of pairs that they claim that they had. So what I'm thinking is Adidas is creating like an illusion to make it seem like people are still buying Yeezys, but in reality people really aren't buying these. They're just throwing up the sold up sign and hoping that people feel like they missed out. But anyways, Adidas actually did come out and say that they had the Yeezy brand under review. This came after him wearing the White Lives Matter t-shirt, which caused a massive outrage. He made it even worse by doubling down on the White Lives Matter statement, and that caused Adidas to go into crisis mode. But even after this article came out, Kanye West said fuck Adidas. To give you a direct quote, he said, "Fuck Adidas. I am Adidas. Adidas R-worded and stole my designs." If I had to guess, I don't think Adidas will cut ties anytime soon. That whole under review thing is really just a PR stunt to stop people from talking about it. We've seen a lot of companies do this where they put up these statements and behind the scenes they're really not doing anything. They're just kind of weathering the storm and hoping that people will stop talking about it and that they'll forget about it. We all know Adidas doesn't really care about any of these movements. They just want to make their money at the end of the day. But at the rate Kanye is moving, this shit is never gonna end. Adidas either gonna have to drop him or they're just gonna have to weather the storm the entire time with him. The reason I think Adidas won't drop Yeezy is because in the sneaker game they've made crazy waves since signing Kanye, and I think if they sever ties with the Yeezy brand, they won't have any competition against Jordan, against Nike in the sneaker game. The only big person they have on Adidas right now is Bad Bunny, but his shoes aren't moving volume. Also, I believe if they end up mass producing the Bad Bunny, I don't think that they're gonna sell out anywhere close to the Yeezy brand. Yeezy has just been carrying that side of the brand for so long. They'd lose tons of money by dropping Yeezy. While I think that, I don't think that Adidas will completely just be in trouble. Adidas is a massive brand. They have tons of sponsors around the world. Outside of the US, Adidas is flourishing perfectly fine. I think it's just within the United States that doesn't seem like the case. So it seems like Kanye is ruining his career. The things that he said you cannot take back. You've completely burned the bridges with some of those companies, with some of your fans, some of the people that have been watching you for such a long time, and that's pretty scary for him. So that's pretty much it for today. today's video, man. I appreciate you guys sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you think that this is the end for Kanye. What do you see his next moves being? And I'll catch you guys in the next one.